Wow, what do you know? I can honestly tell you that I honestly was very surprised that this actually is going to be taking place. I've been listening to all the wrestling rumors for the past, week, 2 weeks, thinking that people were saying that they were going to be doing another match at Battleground between Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. I, for one, was very surprised at Backlash when Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I thought that, honestly, he was somebody who was just going to be like sort of a Band-Aid opponent for Randy Orton to get them through the month and then bring up somebody like Baron Corbin or another bigger guy to be a competitor against Randy. I thought this was sort of like showing the new initiative, making some new mid-card stars. But they really went out and did it all. People are saying there's a lot of things that have to do with WWE trying to take over India. You can definitely tell that TNA has really been trying to get into the market in India, trying to really push into there. I don't really know how much money there is to be made in India, but there's a lot of people over there, and I'm guessing that they just want ratings or something. I've heard lots of podcasts about stories about guys going over and wrestling in India. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of money to be made there, but everybody wants it. Then they, of course, Money in the Bank came around, and then that was supposed to be where they just handed the title back to Orton, and it didn't happen. Basically, the brothers came down and they helped out, and they went back and forth. It looked like Randy was going to be taking control of everybody, but Jinder just pulled it out and got another win. So here on SmackDown, Randy Orton came down to the ring. We've seen this 1,000 times where he basically just says he's going to go on strike, and he just sets up his chair in the middle of the ring, and he says he's not leaving until he has a match against Jinder Mahal. And if he runs into Jinder Mahal, he's going to beat him up. And if he runs into him tomorrow, he's going to beat him up again. And he's going to keep beating him up until he gets his championship match at Battleground that he wants. Because basically, Orton feels disrespected, that he was beat in his hometown, in front of his father, in front of his hero, Ric Flair, and just feels that basically, he's owed another shot. Shane McMahon came down to the ring, basically said that, Orton has never been as fired up as he's been right now. Shane's even gotten into altercations with Orton in the past, and doesn't think that he's ever seen him, pushed to this brink. Basically, he said he was going to give Orton the match at Battleground, but Jinder Mahal was going to be able to name the stipulation. At this point, I was just crossing my fingers, I had my hands over my face. I wanted it to happen, but I didn't believe that it was actually going to happen. And Jinder Mahal came out and basically said that he was going to be putting a match into place that we haven't seen in years, a match that was created by his hero, the Great Khali, which doesn't make any sense, because when Jinder Mahal debuted in WWE, he actually was coming after the Great Khali. I think he slapped him around. I think they had a match. It was horrible. It is what it is, but they can recreate history any way they want to. And Jinder Mahal named this Punjabi prison match to be taking place at Battleground. They've had 2 of these in the past. These matches are very bad. I know that people will be drawing comparisons to WWE bringing back at the NXT show the Shark Cage, which Paul Ellering was put into, basically saying that Mattel made this toy. WWE was trying to help Mattel sell this toy by actually using the stipulation instead of creating this out of thin air. Mattel has made a Punjabi prison match. It's been on the shelves at my Toys R Us for a while. I don't think that WWE actually created this match and brought it back for Battleground, trying to help WWE move those Punjabi prison match sets off of the clearance racks at my Toys R Us. But I don't know. I mean, these matches aren't good. I don't remember what shows these were on. I do remember the first one, the Great Khali was supposed to wrestle against The Undertaker, and the match never even took place because of the fact that the Great Khali was pulled from the show. I believe this was because of elevated liver enzymes, I believe is what it was, because of the start of the WWE wellness policy. Whole bunch of guys on the SmackDown card had to be pulled from a pay-per-view, probably looked at as one of the worst WWE pay-per-views of all time. Maybe with all of the people that were pulled from the card, they should have not even had the show. But actually, everyone that failed the enzyme test was pulled from the show. But because Khali was actually put in that main event spot with The Undertaker, that he actually appeared on the card but never actually wrestled. I think if I remember right, him and Big Show became like partners that night, that they were going to take out The Undertaker, but right before they entered into the Punjabi prison match, I think that the Great Khali attacked the Big Show and threw him into the Punjabi prison match, shut the door and took off, sort of leaving us with Undertaker versus Big Show. Why Undertaker would beat up the Big Show and just say that's good enough, I don't know. But I believe later that year, or maybe even the next year, we actually got a payoff of the Great Khali wrestling in the Punjabi prison match, with Khali going up against Batista. And that match was bad. The first time that they ever billed this match, it was such suspense that we didn't really know what was going to happen. And the next time that we heard Michael Cole talking about it, he told us that the match was actually going to take place in the middle of a jungle. Whether if that meant that WWE at that time was planning on building a soundstage with the Punjabi prison match taking place actually in the middle of a jungle, if they were going to put a ring in the middle of a jungle, if they just pushed all these stories to the end and then just finally said this is going to cost too much money, fuck it. I don't know. I think that Bruce Pritchard was around at that time, and I hopefully he will answer the question about what the fuck happened to the Punjabi prison match back in the day. But I think he's the one guy out there that would probably tell us the truth. Am I looking forward to Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal in the Punjabi prison match? Honestly, right now, no. Do I think it's going to be a good match? No. Does it make me laugh right now? Yes. Do I think that Randy Orton's going to win? I sure hope he does. If Orton beats Jinder Mahal, that would be 2 wins for Jinder and 1 win for Orton. I would think you'd have to go another match. And because they've got so many damn shows, I wouldn't even know what the next pay-per-view would be. Other than, SummerSlam has to be coming soon. And were they going to do that match at SummerSlam? I would guess they would do new guys. Do I really think that Jinder Mahal's going to be the champion at SummerSlam? I know it's only the SmackDown title, but fuck. I think that title's got to go back to Orton. I think that honestly that's my pick. Just because Orton is a more bigger name to highlight SummerSlam. But then again, what do you do with Jinder? You don't just let this guy drop off the face of the earth after having a 2-month title reign. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to go down between now and then. I know the Great Balls of Fire is coming up in 2 weeks. That show's going to be sooner. But this is one, honestly, that I want to see Joe versus Brock, and I don't think I know anything else that's on the card other than Braun Strowman versus Roman, which is, I think, the 3rd time we've seen this on pay-per-view. And I don't really care about that match. So, honestly, this is probably the 2nd biggest match in WWE that I care about. And I don't even really care about it that much either. So, we'll see. But I got Orton. Who you guys got? I'll see you guys down the road.